Everybody's ready. We're going to go ahead and start our meeting. You'll all stand. Councilman Behrens is going to lead us in an invocation.
Father in heaven, we come to you tonight. We thank you for this day. We thank you for the ability to live in a community that we do. Father, we thank you for Jesus and what he means to us. Thank you for the moisture that we've received in the past, and we just pray that we might get some more. Father, help us to glorify you in everything we do. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Let the record show that we're all here, and we have a quorum. And if you'll all join me, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, let's pledge to the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, and one individual. Yes, thank you. You may be seated. It is this time in our meeting that we're always glad to welcome guests, and I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. Karina, it's good to have you.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
Glad you're here. We have Kevin Bays with EMS, and we have Jackie Claborn, also with EMS, and the county judge, or county attorney. And you two guys will have a few things to say here in a few minutes. And we're glad, Slater, we're glad you're here, and we're glad the staff is here. And Gil, it's always nice to have you here. Appreciate you taking the time. We do open the meeting for anybody that'd like to make public comment at this time. If not, then we will go ahead and get started on our agenda. We're going to vary from our printed agenda just a little bit. And we're going to move down the list here, and we're going to turn the floor over to Jackie Claborn. And Jackie's going to talk to us a little bit about the hotel, about the meal days and Kickin nights. So,
thank you. I just kind of wanted to give you all an update on how the concert went last year, kind of some of the things we're looking at this year. The concert was on June 29th this last year. Dolly Shine was our headliner, and the Drake Hayes Band was our opener. We did a little bit better job with our ticket sales this year and monitoring how we were selling them and keeping track of them, so we got much closer to an accurate number. That number this year was about 540. So that, we think, is probably our biggest year, really close to the first year, but definitely an improvement on last year. And the first 2 years, setting it up and being there, I pretty much knew almost everybody that was there. This year, we had a lot of people from out of town, a lot of people from in the town that I didn't know, so I think that's a sign that we're growing our audience and getting more people to show up. This year, without a doubt, was the smoothest run year. It's our third year doing it. It's the same crew that's done it. We're definitely getting better at it. Know what we're doing a lot better. We had EMS work the gate this year, the opening gate, to sell tickets and scan everyone's tickets when they come in. They did a fantastic job. We had no problems at the gate this year. The fire department did the fireworks show like they usually do, handled all of our parking, but also ran very smooth. Again, this year we had the AMBUS from UMC, just in case anything goes wrong and people need to be treated. I'm going to let Kevin talk a little bit more about that when I'm done here, but we got some positive feedback from them about the event as well that I'm going to let him share with y'all. We added a few new events this year. We had a 9-hole scramble that morning that was ran by the golf course, and I think we ended up having 11 or 12 teams, and so it went really well. We had the Muleshoe Road Riders there this year. They had a poker run before the concerts. We didn't get as many people as we'd like with them, but they didn't have a lot of notice on it. We kind of decided to do that about a month in advance. We're still planning on doing that again this next year with a lot more advance notice, and hopefully we'll get a lot more riders out there for that. The Lions Club did a ball drop. I don't know if any of you out there saw it. They got one of the Bailey County EMS trucks, I think it was, and got a bunch of ping pong balls. They sold them for $1 a piece and then dumped them all off onto the green during the intermission at the concert, and everybody went up there and watched that. And the ball that got closest to the hole, the person won half the pot. The other half went to Lions Club, so Lions Club made some money off of it as well. This next year, we've been talking with a couple people about adding some events. One of the events we've talked about is a barbecue cook-off. They have a big one in Littlefield at their concerts. I didn't realize this, I just learned this from our Coors Light rep, that there's a circuit that every weekend it goes somewhere different, and it's a barbecue cook-off, and if we can get added onto that list, it pretty much guarantees you about 300 or 400 people showing up for that. So if we can get that added into ours, they're seeing if there's an available date that weekend, and if so, we're gonna try and get that added on there this year as well. As far as the country club, like I said, the ticket sales were really good, they did well. As far as beverage sales there, they sold just over $3,000 out on the golf course and 6,600, this is all gross numbers, inside, which made it the biggest day the country club has ever had as far as sales. So it went well for them as well. The charities this year, we've already given out the money to the charities. We are going to get the big checks and do that at some point for the paper, but the money's already been given to them. It was given to EMS, it was given to the fire department, and it was given to Muleshoe Meals on Wheels again. With the 3 years total now, in the 3 years that we've been doing this concert, we've now given over $23,000 to local charities here. So we're definitely happy about that, and want to thank you all for giving the money that you did this last year. This year's concert will be June 27th. And I'm here also to ask that we can get that $20,000 from y'all from the hotel motel tax again for this next year. That's pretty much all I have, unless y'all have some questions.
Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin's going to talk as soon as I'm done. Just make sure y'all have any questions for me before I sit
Anybody have
down.
any questions for Jackie?
All right, good deal. Kevin's going to talk a little bit about the emergency preparedness stuff and the AMBUS and everything that was there.
Good evening. So, I just want to pass on what I was given. The UMC crew wanted to give, they asked for some email addresses. I don't know if anything got sent to anybody or not, but they wanted to give a recommendation to the city and the county on emergency preparedness for that event. They said they go out to other events out in rural areas and help, and this year was by far one of the most prepared that they had seen. And they said they were very impressed with how it was handled and taken care of, and they wanted to be invited back. They said they go to other places and it's not not handled as professionally, and he said they worry about that because they know that resources are going to be coming from their big town to help. And he said with us being over here and having them involved and engaged early, they were very, very impressed with that, and I just wanted to pass that on to all of y'all, and thank you again for inviting them and letting them come out. From EMS standpoint, it definitely helps to have them there and have some extra staff there. Makes me feel a little more comfortable that should we have anything more outside of the event, is kind of where some of my concerns lie. It allows them to be able to be there to help cover that, so we can take care of our citizens that aren't there. So it's a great help for us as well. So
What do they charge?
Nothing. We given them, last year we gave them, this last time, we gave them $150 on a gift card, a Visa gift card that they could use at the vendors for food. They used $54 of that and gave it back to me. So that's all they used.
At the food trucks?
Yeah, at the
that
food
were out
trucks.
here.
They just used that. They just passed one on the cruise and took it there to buy their food. They said they were thrilled. I called him to ask him if they had any recommendations to pass along as far as other things they've gone to, and he thought it was very well set up. He said the stage location was good. He said it was set up really nice because everybody could see everything and still be involved, even if they were on standby there for anything else. They were impressed with everything.
Good to hear.
Thank you.
Pass along to your staff, or to the rest of your, the folks that you work with, how much we appreciate them being out there and being available in case there's a problem.
I'll definitely do that.
Doing everything you can to help it all make it work out. We really appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you. I'll pass that on.
Okay.
One thing I didn't mention was that we also afterwards sent out some surveys to people that had been there, asking for feedback, and I'd say by far the majority of stuff we received back was very positive. So it was good to hear all that.
We really hope it continues to grow and becomes a really unique annual event every year. So be good for the community.
Here, I'd say I've had the privilege to serve kind of on the outer edges with this committee, and these guys just continue to amaze me every year, what they're able to pull off, the connections that they make, all for the betterment of Muleshoe. It was an idea that was kind of born that they really stepped up, and it's a fun night. If you've not ever been out there, you should really go. It's a lot of fun. But again, kudos to these guys because they do this in addition to all the other things they do in the community. So.
Well, and I mean, y'all help make it all work, and we really appreciate that. So.
Thank you.
And this year, our headlining band broke up, what, 2 months?
Yeah.
Well, I think about 6 weeks before, we were scrambling for a band, and that's when Jackson's Connection Myers came in very handy. And I actually think the band that we were able to get increased our attendance from who we were going to have. So it went really well and really smooth this year. It wasn't near as a difficult process for all of us. It's definitely been a learning experience, but I think I say we finally got the hang of it. As soon as I say that, something will change. But right now, it seemed good. So.
They get better and better at it every year.
That's good. All right.
I will say too, you know, hotel motel money is what they're requesting here. This event puts as many heads in beds as any event that we've ever helped to fund. So
That's good.
just,
That's what it's all about.
it is, at least from this standpoint.
And I do know the hotel on the Irish Inn was sold out for that event. I don't know about the other one. I know that they had no rooms left at the Irish Inn.
So, we have a request for $20,000 for next year's event, and it'll come out of hotel motel tax money. And I'll make a motion that we approve that request.
I'll second.
And we have a second. So any other questions or discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. All right. And we wish you good luck this year, and we hope to all be there.
I hope so. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
If there's anything else you need, you let us know.
Will do. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks. See y'all later.
Okay, we're gonna move back to the beginning of our agenda, and first thing we need to do is approve the minutes of the August 12th meeting of this year. Do one. Have a motion to approve, and I'll second it. Is there any other questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next thing we need to do is approve the minutes of the public hearing on the 2020 tax rate that was held on August the 27th. And I'll make a motion, we approve those. Second. Have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we'd like to do is approve the minutes of the special council meeting that was held on August the 27th. And I'll make a motion, we approve those.
Second.
And we have a second. Any questions, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we need to do is to approve the minutes of the public hearing. It was held on September the 4th. That approved our budget, our tax rate, or where we talked about the tax rate. So I'll make a motion, we approve those minutes. Do we have a second? So any discussion? Not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we would like to do is consider resolution number R755-0919, suspending Southwestern Public Services rate case. And Leanne, I'll let you talk about that.
Okay. Southwestern Public Service has filed another rate case, a new rate case. We're asking council to suspend that action for this so that we can begin negotiations with Southwestern Public Service. The Alliance of XL Municipalities, our legal staff is starting to work on this, and this will formalize that action.
Seems like the same thing every year. Over and over and over, between SBS, Atmos Energy, and, yeah,
It's the
okay.
process.
Second that motion, suspended.
We have, did you make a motion?
You made a motion, I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve that resolution. Is there any other questions? Not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Now, speaking of the other devil, consider ordinance number 0513-0919, approving Atmos Energy's rate settlement. Now,
So we've been through the process now with Atmos Energy, negotiations have taken place, and this ordinance will actually approve that settlement with Atmos Energy.
okay.
Make a motion to approve that.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve that ordinance with the Atmos Energy rate settlement. Is there any other discussion? Let the public know that this customer billing will increase on an average of approximately $2.48 per month. So,
If you'll notice, originally they requested $17.27 million, and after negotiations, it resulted in $4.7 million.
which is
So
much better.
substantial.
Yes. Okay. Any other questions? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we'd like to do is consider ordinance number 0514-0919, which adopts new codes of ordinances. And Leanne, you want to update us on?
Sure. So we've gone through a recodification. From time to time, annually, we send all of our ordinances to Franklin Legal Publishing, and they inject those into our code. At a certain point, it just needs to be recodified, kind of just reworked and reviewed and all of that, and that's what we've just recently completed. So this ordinance actually puts all of that into place, into one book, brings everything up to date, enacts the new code of ordinances, provides penalties and violations, provides for the amendment of the city code, and provides for the effective date of the city code, which will be immediately upon the approval of council.
Any questions?
Make a motion, we adopt that.
A motion and second to adopt that ordinance. Is there any other questions? Not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we would like to do is consider ordinance number 0515-0919, which adopts the 2019-2020 budget. We have been over that, and over that, and over that, and I'll make a motion, we approve that ordinance. Have a second. Is there any other questions? Not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we'd like to do is consider ordinance number 0516-0919. It sets the 2020 tax rate. This ordinance sets the tax rate for maintenance and operation at 6.176 cents, and interest and sinking at 0.1676 for a total tax rate of 0.7852. We have a motion to, I second it.
That motion needs to be that exact,
Okay, just a minute, hang on. This has to be perfect. Let me make the motion. Okay. It says, I make the motion to adopt ordinance number 0516-0919, adopting the 2020 tax rate, and that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.7852 cents, which is effectively a 0.98% increase in the tax rate. There.
Second.
And then we have a second. Is there any discussions? All those in favor, say
We
aye.
do have to have a record vote on that motion, please.
We need a, okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed, raise your left hand. Motion carries unanimously. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to do, along with the budget and the tax rate, is we need to consider ordinance number 0517-0919 that amends the fee schedule. And new charges that we will have for the coming year. And
Yes, sir. The only real increase that we have in fees is an increase in lift station charges. We have trucks that come in from the area who use our lift station to discharge sewage that they've cleaned out, septic tanks and those kind of things. They come in those trucks. Our rate has been $25 per 1,000 gallons. This will increase to $30 per 1,000 gallons. Also in that ordinance, during our recodification, it was brought to our attention that the water park admission and our facility rental, that had not been included in that fee schedule, so that takes care of that. Some of our, in looking at the ordinance, the commercial operating fees at the airport were not included in that fee schedule, of which we have no commercial business out there, but it addresses that. So it just kind of cleaned up some things. So that ordinance will take care of that with upon passage of council.
does anybody have any questions about all those fees?
Make a motion that we amend the ordinance, or amend the fee schedule.
Second. Have a motion and a second to approve that ordinance. Is there any other questions or discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried. Next thing we'd like to do is to consider awarding the bids for the TxCDBG project. This is our housing project. And I'm going to let Leanne explain the bids and how all that worked out.
Council remembers last month's meeting, we asked you to reject the bids that we had received, mainly because the way that was constructed, our base bid came in way over budget. So what we did with engineers, we went back and kind of restructured the way those bids were going to be presented, or our specifications presented to contractors. So if you look at your bid tab, we have a base bid, and then we have 4 additive alternates there. So the base bid, the low bid came in at M&S Construction. We had 2 bidders, M&S Construction and UCA. So whenever we get down and we go to looking at this, we have $224,835 available for the project. The base bid came in at $179,907. So we could choose to just go with the base bid only, and leave $44,000, almost $45,000 on the table. Whenever we look at then doing the additive alternates, the best deal for us for the dollar is additive alternate number 2, which came in at $69,184 with that base bid contractor. Doing that, though, we have a total of $249,091 with only $224,000 available for the project. So that sets us at $24,256 to come from fund balance. Y'all just passed a budget where we put money in fund balance in the water and sewer fund in excess of that $24,000. So it would be our recommendation that we go ahead and approve base bid plus additive alternate number 2 for a total of $249,000 with that $24,000 to come from fund balance. We believe that that would make us, give us the best project for the dollars and not leave any dollars on the table.
This is to replace some of those lines.
Water lines, yes. And Ramon can answer any of those questions y'all have about where we're talking about, what we're talking about in there. Those water lines will be replaced with 6-inch lines.
Correct.
provide better service for the folks in that area that'll be affected.
Okay. Any other questions about the bid? The bid request?
Make a motion to award it to Midwest Construction.
Okay, I'll second that. We have a motion and a second to.
With the additive.
Right. And to award the bid to M&S Construction with the additive alternate number 2. Is there any other questions or discussion?
You said there were 2 bids,
We had 2 bidders.
M&S.
Uh-huh.
Is that local?
M&S, they show to be out of Belen, New Mexico. They do a lot of work and have an office in Cactus, Texas. Actually, engineers did some work on, checked out their references. I happen to personally know the city manager in Cactus. He had nothing but good things to say about him. Said they had actually pretty much reconstructed all of their water system in Cactus. He had nothing but positive things to say about them. We found no negative comments whatsoever about that contractor.
If I may, Councilman Burns, there is no local contractor that can handle these projects.
Okay.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks.
We have to go for bids.
Thank you.
So we have a motion and a second to award that to M&S Construction with the additive alternate bid. Number 2. Is there any other discussion or questions? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we'd like to do is consider an official ballot of the Texas Municipal League Health Benefits Pool Board of Trustees for Region 3. This is an election to place a member from Region 3 on that board. And Mr. David Riley, which is the mayor of the city of Idlewood, has served on this board for a long time, and the staff recommends that we should put him back in that position, and he does good work. So,
I'll make a motion to vote for David Riley.
Second.
motion and a second to nominate him for that position. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carries. The next thing we would like to do is consider the council code of conduct. And we haven't done that in several years. We have a list of that code of conduct right here, and I'll be glad to read that. And it says, every elected city official is one of trust and service to the citizens of Muleshoe. The mayor and council members are expected to govern the city in a manner associated with preservation of the values and integrity of representative local government and principles of democracy. To further these objectives, certain principles shall govern the conduct of the mayor and council members in his or her relationship with the citizens, the city manager, city staff, and fellow elected officials. Principle number 1 is honor. Be dedicated to the highest ideals of honor and integrity in all public personal relationships in order to merit the respect and confidence of the citizens of Muleshoe. Principle 2 is equality. Be mindful at all times that the chief function of local government is to serve the best interest of all of the people without prejudice. Principle 3 is obedience. Be diligent to obey state law, city charter, and local ordinances that mandate or restrain the acts of local officials, such as nepotism and conflict of interest laws. Principle 4 is influence. Be conscious in relations with the city manager and his or her staff so as not to improperly influence city officials or policies, or to thwart the execution of any city ordinance, rules, or regulations. Principle 5 is benefit. Be careful not to use the elected position or the information to which the official becomes privileged for personal gain, profit, or benefit, and further, neither seek nor accept any gift or benefit that might influence or appear to influence an official decision or duty. Principle 6 is confidentiality. Be faithful to safeguard confidential information, including all discussions in closed meetings, realizing that in sensitive matters, mutual trust is essential to assure the free flow of ideas from city staff to elected officials and among those officials themselves. Principle 7 is representation. Be sensitive to the appearance or impression that an elected official can personally intervene and provide special influence on an official decision or act of the city. Accordingly, do not personally represent any person, group, or entity before any city board, commission, committee, or council when there is the potential for personal gain in that matter. Principle 8 is transparency. Be committed to provide open, transparent, and accountable government, and be diligent to not act in any way that would erode public trust. The mayor and council members hereby covenant to hold themselves mutually accountable to this standard of conduct by all means available to them, always remembering that it is the people who hold the ultimate right, the power, and means to hold accountable their elected officials for conduct while in office. And this is available to be signed on this 9th day of September of this year.
Make a motion to adopt that code of conduct.
Okay. Have a motion and a second to adopt that code of conduct. Is there any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we'd like to do is receive financial statement for the month ending August 31st of this year. I trust you will review that, and I'll make a motion we approve the financial statement. Second. And we have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next thing we would like to do is administrative reports. And Lynn, I'm going to let you do that.
Thanks, Mayor. The Texas Workforce Commission, along with Muleshoe Independent School District, will be hosting a career fair for 8th graders. This says on September the 8th. That's not September the 8th. That was yesterday. It will be on September the 12th. It's coming Thursday at the Ballot County Coliseum. City staff will participate in that. Police department will be there with some of their equipment and officers. Communications folks, Public Works will be there with representatives and some of their equipment for 8th graders, and talk to them about career choices and what will be happening in their future. On Wednesday, September the 11th, Representative Kickin will be at AimBank from 2 o'clock till 3 o'clock p.m. That's an opportunity for us to visit with our state legislator and express our opinions and our thoughts on what goes on in Austin and those things that affect us. So if you can be there for that, we would encourage you to be there. Heritage Foundation is going to have a reorganization meeting on Thursday, September the 12th at 7 o'clock p.m. at the depot out at the Heritage Foundation. We'd encourage all that are interested to show up and participate with that meeting. They've decided that they need to reorganize. There's some work that needs to be done out there. And so those folks that are interested, I know they would appreciate attendance and your help. The SPAG, South Plains Association of Governments Annual General Assembly meeting will be September 18th at Spirit Ranch. Zane will be talking to you all about that. If you wish to attend, you'll need to make reservations for that. As will the TML Region 3 meeting that will be September 19th in Lubbock at the Scottish Rites Learning Center. City of Levelland, I think, is hosting that meeting. And I encourage you to be there for that. I think it's going to be a legislative update. So that'll be a good time. Zane also will need to know if you plan to attend that so she can send that in. And then the TML annual conference, we're all making plans for that, will be in San Antonio, October the 9th through the 11th. So looking forward to that meeting. That's always a good time, and we always learn a lot there also. So that's all we have, Mayor.
I would also like to ask everybody to consider attending the Heritage Foundation meeting on September the 12th. I say this is a reorganization meeting. They need some help on the board of directors, and it's a good opportunity to serve with us. Enough for everybody to go to the SPAG annual meeting and the P&L reason. Any of the council have anything else? No, sir.